So, welcome everyone. Now we are heading towards our panel discussion on the topic New Construction Strategy during COVID 19 Challenges and Solution. And to discuss this, we have our honorable guest, Dr. Amita Singh, Lead Safety, Health, Environment, CDM Smith, Mr. Saurajit Mukherjee, CEO, E2E Rail, and Mr. Daljit Singh, Director, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, and architect Priyanka Kumar, urban planner, RCUS Lucknow. I would like our audience, if they have any questions or queries, so that it can be resolved here in our question answer session. Please type the questions in the question box. Now, without a further ado, I invite Ms. Priyanka to start our discussion. Thank you.
A very good morning to all of you. First of all, I just would like to thanks to Mr. Vinod Shah for inviting us here. So here we are going to discuss about what all are the construction strategy which will be adopted post COVID-19 scenario. As here we are talking on the urban transport. So first I would highlight a major difference between transportation planning and transportation engineering, because these two terms which make us confuse every day that which type of construction strategy should be adopted either in transportation planning or it should be adopted in a case of engineering. Okay, so yesterday we were also discussing on the facts that what should we do in a post-COVID scenario. So when we talk about providing transportation facilities, the problem which we see in day-to-day life while providing the facilities to the middle income group people, to low income group people, or any of the people in the society who is using the transportation. And when we talk about the transportation engineering, it is how we design the streets, how we design the highways, how we design the landmarks, how we design the traffic systems. What should be the design so that the design will cater the less population in a small area, or the design will cater more population in a small area. Okay, so these two, it is very important. Before understanding what should be the construction strategy, it is important to understand which type of construction strategy should be adopted either in case of transportation planning or in a case of transportation engineering. So here is a small presentation. Okay, when we talk about the strategies can be characterized according to, there should be a separate strategies for traffic, there should be a separate strategy for planning, there should be a separate strategies for geometric designs, and yes, we also today we need to adopt some good strategies in a case of traffic management as well in the case of administration. Okay, so I here is the factors which affect the traffic. We have a four factors: the vehicle, the roadway, the environment, the road user. Okay, the road user, it can be a permanent user जिसको हर रोज ऑफिस जाना है. It can be a temporary user. I am just going to Ahmedabad for a one day. I am going to Bangalore for 2 days. So we are not a permanent user over there. So this is a road user. When we talk about the environment, now it is very important before any type of design that we should go for a orientation. Being an architect, I always design a home which orient with sun, which orient with wind direction. But here when we talk about the transportation planning, engineering, it is the need of the hour that we should go with the temperature of a particular area, the heat of the particular area, the cold of the particular area, the fog. Because of fog, there is almost so many accidents which occur every day in day-to-day life. And the roadway types, which type of roadway we are, the different type of surfaces can be provided, the different type of textures which can be provided, how the drainage affects to the population, how the weather resistance, these all are the factors which should be now, especially in the post COVID, not only in COVID, in day-to-day life it should be, but now as we are facing a very 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 huge pandemic, so it is whole sole duty of a planner, transport planners, to adopt these type of strategies. And one and most, which is on a first serial number, the motorized and non-motorized. हमारा जो वाहन है, the vehicle, the non-motorized vehicle and a motorized vehicle must have different type of lanes, the different type of transportation facilities. We are going in a different slides like this. Okay, post COVID-19 guidelines for motorized and non-motorized vehicles it can be an integrated public transport, like a social distance is one of the thing. Okay, the seats that are not available for the public can be marked using stickers. Seats in the front row shall be made unavailable for the public. The seats which are very near to the driver, which are very near to the conductor. Okay, on board CCTV cameras are the very huge niban nowadays. It is also like each bus should have a one safety supervisor who will be required to guide the public, who will be required to guide the people about the safety precautions. Okay, and there should be that the cashless transactions should be there. There should be some IT cards over there, and there should be a retrofitted opening windows to help increase air circulation. This is a design of a bus. This is a design of a metro. Okay, these things also comes under a strategy. Traffic police must ensure that there will be not more than 4 people. Like for example, if we take the example of Uttar Pradesh, there is a Grameen Seva. They're called as a local auto wala. In Delhi there are also some types of autos. Every city has different, so our nickname is also over there. So Grameen Seva is a nickname in Uttar Pradesh. So there should be some policies that there should be only 2 persons or 4 person. Accordingly the rate can be enhanced. And when we talk about the shared mobility like Ola, like Uber, there should be some post lockdown contribution, like carpooling can be stopped. No doubt, carpooling is a very good option, but post COVID regulations, carpooling can be avoided for some time. So there is a very good data. One bus for every 1,000 citizens. There, it is a standard. It is a norm. Whereas countries like USA and the UK, Australia, Japan, Mexico have more than 2 buses for every 1,000 citizens, but India has only 1 bus for every 1,000 citizens. The norm should be revised accordingly. Okay, there are some practices. There are some best practices for the COVID-19 across the world. We can take the example of Melbourne, Australia, where ticket transaction has been made cashless, and the first rows of the seats are unavailable for the public. Good example of Singapore LTA, Land Transport Authority, has planned to implement safe distancing measures in trains, bus stops, where ऑरेंज स्टिकर्स मतलब डिफरेंट कलर का स्टिकर्स लगा दिया गया है, सो दैट ग्रीन वेयर इज देयर ग्रीन स्टिकर, इट मींस द प्लेस इज डेजिग्नेटेड टू पब्लिक. दे मे स्टैंड, दे मे सिट, दे मे यूज दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग, बट जहां पर ऑरेंज स्टिकर लगा दिया गया है दैट इज रिस्ट्रिक्टेड to the users. China, the source of coronavirus, have also good strategy in Shanghai. The buses are being sanitized using ultraviolet lights. And if we take the example of London has banned the use of front doors. As we know, दिल्ली में जो JNNURM की buses चलती हैं उनका भी 2 doors होता है. तो इस केस में they have 3 doors in the buses, where they have banned the use of front door, which can be only accessed by the conductor and the driver, and trailing middle door boarding in buses to protect the driver from catching the viruses. Colombia is also a very good example. 76 kilometer of new cycle lanes has been proposed to reduce the crowding in case of public transportation. New York City is going to install bike lanes. The bike lanes obviously 2-wheel lanes, where it will also going to promote NMT on the 2nd Avenue between the particular streets of the New York. So Beijing is also contributing bike sharing system, where we are focusing less on bulk public transportation. We are coming on a private transportation, but instead of using your own cars, we are using a 2-wheeler bike sharing system, which is definitely going to less harm to the environment, as it will be under somewhere under NMT, non-motorized transportation. So these are some traffic management and administration strategies which are need of the hour, that accordingly the infrastructure, the physical and the social infrastructure can be constructed. So these were the zones which were earlier divided during COVID-19, the red zones, the orange zone, the green zones. You must be aware we have faced these type of 3 zones for last 1 year, since 2020 we are facing. And penalty is also one of the thing, penalty for violating the rules. But here I would like to say, instead of penalty there should be rewards. ओके आप हेलमेट नहीं पहन करके आए हैं, यू हैव टू पे पेनल्टी, बट जो हेलमेट पहन के आया है इट कैन बी रिवॉर्डेड। यू नो आप अगर प्रेस करेंगे तो अगले दिन जो नहीं पहन के आए हैं दे विल ऑल्सो कम। इट्स जस्ट एन एग्जाम्पल। आई जस्ट वॉन्ट टू से कि डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट सेज देयर शुड बी अ पेनल्टी फॉर वायलेटिंग लॉकडाउन रूल्स, बट इन पोस्ट COVID-19 let's you know let's kudos each other so that we can easily motivate. If you are using a metro post COVID era, you are getting some benefits so that you can use the same card in a big bazaar, you can same card in a Spencer. If you are using Mumbai metro, so you will be able to recharge your phone with 99 rupees of Airtel, so that these type of rewards can attract public towards the public transportation. So these type of strategies can be adopted. And now when we talk about the construction strategies, so these are the things which are missing in our studies. Like before any of the studies, we are not doing the traffic volume studies, we are not doing the spot speed survey, we are not doing the speed delay survey. So these are the need of the hour. Before designing anything, we should do the parking survey, we should go for the accident survey. These studies which help us to determine that what will be the need of that particular junction over 15 years, how that we can tackle that particular junction in a coming span of time, either in a case of a pandemic or in day-to-day life. So traffic volume study, that a study which is need of the hour, which is going to tell you that units are vehicles per day and vehicles per hour. Vehicle unit PCU, passenger car unit, we must know कि एक सड़क पर कितना गाड़ी खड़ा हो सकता है, passenger car unit. When we talk about the spot speed survey, we can use that equipment, anoscope. So these are the things which must be done. Speed delay and survey can be done by various methods: floating car method before construction, license plate record method, by interview, by photography, or by videography. Origin and destination survey must be done by before constructing any type of flyovers, any type of a route for city logistic, for urban freight of the roads. Roadside interview method, license plate method can be used. Tag on car method can be used. Home interview method is one of the very unique, very common method with us. So traffic flow characteristics and studies, we should know what should be the volume, what should be the density, and what should be the speed. We just design a road, we just design a flyovers, we think that flyover is going to reduce the congestion, but I'm so sorry, the need of the studies before constructing anything, it is very important. Traffic capacity studies are very important, where here C means the traffic capacity, which can be derived with this formula, 1000 volume by the speed. So this is just an overview of that particular concept. Parking survey is very very important, because nowadays already in India, the metro, the railways or the BRTS do not run on the need, they run on the culture of the particular city. For example, Delhi has that culture, a city which caters different culture people from all over the states of the India. So there are some people from Bengal, from Mumbai, from Delhi. They come to Delhi to fulfill their needs, to fulfill their ambitions. So they prefer metro so that they can save a penny. They can save some money and they may use metro. When we talk about a Lucknow, the localite of a Lucknow, they have a Nawabi culture. They are not going to prefer metro as the same. The person is going to prefer metro over Delhi, and the same concept will be over there in the Ahmedabad. When we talk about Ahmedabad, it is also a cultured city. They prefer to use their own vehicle. So India is a state where the public transportation, no doubt, the culture is impacting very much. On the need of the on the public transportation, I mean to say. So maximum, we have a 4-person in a family, we have a 3 cars in our parking area. So nowadays we are going for a more on a public transportation, more on a private transportation instead of a public transportation. So it is very important to create these type of parking spaces which will not affect the pandemic much, which will cater the maximum cars, but the minimum public. For example, we can say the maximum governance and the minimum government. So there should be a various type of parking: the curb parking, the off-street parking. So how the parallel parking and the angle parking are different. One of the very important thing in during construction can be adopted when we are designing or planning or constructing, implementing, executing any type of a parking space out of various angle of parking. 45-degree angle parking is the best and the most convenient method, which can be adopted in a less less amount of space also. And accident study is very much important. अभी मैं एक केस सुन रही थी. A lady was driving and उसको एक कॉल आता है सिविल हॉस्पिटल से कि मैम यू आर कोविड पॉजिटिव, एंड शी वाज ड्राइविंग एंड जस्ट उसका एक्सीडेंट हो गया बिकॉज उसने सुना आई एम कोविड पॉजिटिव. So it is very important that the road should be designed like this ki if someone is suffering from mental illness or something else, the road should be catered least to the accidents. It is only possible when we do the accident study before constructing or designing any type of a thing before implementing. So type of accident may have can be studied with the help of a collision diagram and the condition diagram. And preventive measures of accidents are 3 E's: engineering, enforcement, and education. Education here means awareness. Awareness here means IEC, information, education, and communication. It is very important लोगों को communicate करना, उनको inform करना, educate करना, उनके साथ communicate करना, उनको बताना how to do all these things. So IEC is also the need of the hour. Capacity building is also one of the very important method. Here is a very important information for you all: traffic operations. When we operate a road, when we operate a different vehicle, there should be some traffic regulations. We are aware about the traffic regulations such as issue driving license. We are aware about the registration of vehicles, traffic ownership. We are also aware about the speed limit. We are also aware about the limits of weight, but we don't follow them. This is a main problem. And one thing, there is a traffic control devices on a road, which is the whole sole duty of the municipal officials, the particular authorities of a city, that there should be proper signages. हमको सिर्फ एक साइनेज पता होता है कि लेफ्ट और राइट, यू टर्न, राइट टर्न. Signages are 3 types. Regulatory signages are different. Warning signages are different. Informatory signages are different. There should be a particular signals. There should be a proper marketing area, island, and lights. For example, these are some essential regulatory signs for various urban local bodies. Here means for various cities, various towns, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, like stop, no entry, speed limit. So these are the regulatory signs. Whereas these are the warning signs, like you have to take road widens, this is a narrow bridge. So these signages are going to play a very important role post-COVID era if on a road we are giving proper regulatory warning and informatory signages. So a pada likha vyakti, when it's driving, an educated person is going to see, okay, here are some COVID cases, or here is a hospital nearby, I have to take a right hand curve or I have to take a left hand curve. So accordingly, signages are going to regulate the janta, regulate the public who is driving. So this is the need of the hour: cycle crossing, gap in median. So signages are definitely going to help in the post-COVID scenario, which can be an essential part of the post-COVID-19 construction strategies. And these are some essential informatory signs. We must know where is a first aid post. We must know where is a resting place. We must know how far is the hospital, petrol pump, which is very least we find these signages. हमको सिर्फ ये state highways और national highways पे we find these type of signages, which are only informatory, neither regulatory nor warning. So essential informatory signs on highway, as I told, we just find tool booth ahead. Traffic signals, the 3 lights we are aware from since our 2nd class when we were studying in the schools: red, amber, and green lights. But they have different roles. So nowadays they can be operated with a integrated command and control center, where we find the lights can be turned according to the traffic available on the road. So these type of intelligent traffic management system can be integrated. And before designing the roads or before doing any type of construction for a metro, the role of a road marking, the role of area marking is very important. For example, center lines where we can divide the we can divide the public like this. One is coming जिनका टेम्परेचर चेक हो गया है, अनदर इज कमिंग जिन्होंने सैनिटाइजर ले लिया है. इस तरह का जो सेंटर लाइंस हैं, डिवाइडेड लाइंस हैं, double lines, combination of lines. Important core transportation engineering, which is very very important. जो very post COVID, pre COVID doesn't matter. There should be a lines on each and every road. Either the road is local, either the road is RTL, either a road is national highway or RTL collector road, any type of road. There should be these type of signages. Parking prohibited lines should be there. A yellow box junction should be there. Pedestrian crossing should be there. And road delineators for social distancing is very important. Hazard makers are there. Social distancing करने के लिए object markers एक बहुत important equipments होते हैं here. So this can be over there. एंड ट्रैफिक आइलैंड की अगर हम बात करें तो चैनलाइजिंग आइलैंड है जो हमारा ट्रैफिक कंजेशन को थोड़ा कम कर सकता है. डिविजनल आइलैंड इज ऑल्सो एलिमिनेटिंग हेड ऑन अ कोलिजन, सेपरेट अपोजिट फ्लो ऑफ ट्रैफिक स्ट्रीम्स. So forms of intersections are there. So T intersection, cross and staggered, these type of intersections can help us to intersect the traffic. We can ultimately result in a something reduction in our congestion. So when we talk about a rotary, it is very very important. There we have also one or two rotary in our nearby cities in a radius of a 5 or 10 kilometer. So the diameter is very important. So the diameter, why it is important, less than 40 meter? Because in a very large cities it can be like this. In a small cities like Ambala or something else, the diameter can be between 20 to 40 meters. So conclusion is here that these are some basic concepts of traffic engineering if and when they are adopted on our roads. But obviously our roads are going to be enhanced, contemporary and modern, and it is the roads, the routeways of metros and railways are going us to teach that how to deal with this. So all the elements are important to understand for better implementation and operation for the various officials, urban local bodies. Traffic department का बहुत important काम है managing the traffic. Traffic police को guide करना चाहिए how to make a traffic discipline. Traffic rules and regulations are also important in the case of strategic design, the good strategic design post COVID-19. And at the last, everyone forget about a service level benchmarks. We must focus on a service level benchmarks accordingly. So thank you, stay tuned.
Thank you, Priyanka ma'am, for your presentation. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts on transport planning and engineering and enlightening us about the opportunities of traffic system. Now I'll invite Mr. Saurabh Mukherjee to present his thoughts. Over to you, sir.
Thanks for the invite. Good morning to everyone. I will try to present my slide first. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone out there are safe and sound with their near and dear ones. We all are going through extremely challenging times, probably the most unprecedented era in the human history. But as they say, while there is hope, there is life, and life moves on. So before I start, a quick little introduction about myself and the E2EL family, which I belong to, before I jump to the main topic. My name is Saurabh Mukherjee. I represent one of the fastest growing MSME companies in India right now in the infrastructure space, which is the E2EL group. We are into engineering and construction of rail infra in India, and are fortunately among the few very fortunate companies right now who have registered a 50% year-on-year growth even during the severe pandemic times, when almost 4 to 5 months of our business calendar was washed out because of the lockdown and the pandemic, and without a zero fatality. So that is the most important part of it. We primarily work in 3 segments. Basically, we have around 500 people and we work in 3 segments: signaling, track and electrification. and we have a pan-India presence across the business segments, right? Okay, so while coming back to the main topic today, which is a very interesting and pertinent topic to be discussed right now, is the strategies which needs to be adopted by the companies who are in the construction industry today. And in these uncertain times of COVID-19, what are the issues we are facing? What kind of strategies can be adopted to remain relevant and as well as successful in the coming times, right? So I shall share some real life examples of how we as a company, EatWeRail, we have gone through this, and I think considerably successfully we are selling through it. And during this time, with the utmost safety and well-being of employees at our ultimate focus, without compromising on the growth path, right? Okay. Now, this pandemic has affected communities globally, with more than 30 million reported cases in India alone, and there has been unfortunate lives lost, more than 4 million across the world, and the numbers are still counting. Our governments and the companies, we as a companies, are all trying our best to respond fast, but still much remains to be done. In these difficult times also, if you see one sector which has stood firmly, the construction industry, which has been relentless in delivering the services to the society, from building hospitals in few days to creating transportation infra for delivering life-saving equipments and oxygen express. We all saw that, right? In this industry have played an extremely critical role in responding to the crisis and the recovery. However, the industry, which is constituting right now more than almost 13% of the global GDP, even after facing the highest constraint on the manpower because of the labor issues, availability of the laborers, it has been playing a pivotal role in the economic recovery while addressing the pressing construction needs for the entire society, right? Over the last 6 months, this industry, I will just explain a little bit of the concerns which we faced, or the issues which we faced. Over the last 16 months, almost, we suffered exorbitantly with the construction sites shut down. Somewhere it was allowed, somewhere construction sites were allowed to function. However, there has been enormous disruptions for the supply chains and the operational restrictions. The entire ecosystem for the construction went through a complete disbalance, and each of the areas were affected. But in this severe constraint and this limited situation also, if we carefully analyze the organizations who finally evolved during these troubled times, had to actually proactively shape their agendas to improve the odds for their future success. The focus had to shift from a faster growth, which we all have been coveting over the last, say, 5 years, that we will be growing at the fastest pace of 10%, 15%. But we have to shift that. There was a transition shift from a faster growth track towards the complete focus shifted towards safety and sustainability of the business, and creating the focus towards the most important asset of the organization, which is its people and the stakeholders. There is no, we understood at this juncture that there is no more valuable assets for any organization than its own people, right? So the focus had to be shifted to that. The companies began to look at the sourcing and delivery strategies, which basically shifted from these silo-based services towards a pattern of vertical integration across the business lines, more related to the consolidation. even if you find it's interesting, there has been a lot of competing businesses also consolidated to deliver effective value proposition to the end consumer and keeping them in loop and confidence all through. If we talk about the stakeholder part of it, client confidence is extremely important to keep intact, as the entire spending, the expenditure. So for improving the infrastructure, there needs to be an expenditure. So that expenditure happens through the client, and the client confidence is extremely important, and the cash flow, and to maintain the cash flow for the entire ecosystem. So we need to continuously uh, adopt strategies which creates confidence to the end consumer. So that's or the end client for any B2B organization, right? So now the question comes that what did we as a company actually do at the ground level to meet this challenge and come out of it, or we are still basically in the process of coming out of it successfully, right? So as a company, we basically prepared a business continuity plan, which we all know as BCP, right? And divided it into two parts. It's one's internal and other is external. We created focus groups inside the organizations who concentrated on creating awareness to just contain the spread, take appropriate measures so that the infections are limited, and create infrastructure for attending to the emergencies of the people who are working at different sites. Then provide them facilities for the cure also, because this was an unprecedented situation. We had to adopt measures for curing whoever are getting affected in the ways of now we all are into the vaccination phase, and finally we give the employees added comfort of the medical and life insurances to keep up their moral and comfort levels. We created specific SOPs to be followed at sites where constructions were being allowed and was being monitored continuously through different say focus group of people and techs, right? We even monitor the subcontracting people, which is a very important part of it, that we as a construction organizations employ a lot of people through subcontracting, and those people sometimes goes out of our focus. Those people were really relevant, because you cannot contain the spread unless the entire ecosystem has been checked all through the across, right? So all the employees and the subcontractor were continuously procured on COVID-19 appropriate protocols, and the PPE kits were also made mandatory, right? So these are some of the measures which we have been doing continuously over the last say 12-14 months in different sites. We created even isolation wards at each locations with basic medical infrastructure, gave them telemedicine support and on-site testing process for every location. We even tied up with reputed doctors and medical facilities at the site level to address any emergency for our employees. See, if our employees who are working at the site, there's a construction industry, these are related to people. So if the people are not being taken care, we cannot run the show, and specifically during this challenging time, right? We currently have 22 running sites across India, and I'm very proud to share that almost 80% of our employees have got the first jab within the 18 to 45 range, and 90% of the 45 plus employees have completed their full vaccination schedules. For the corporate employees, we adopted a work from home policy with a continuous monitoring on the productivity levels, also through different kind of digitization tools, software tools. Also kept them motivated through various kind of engagements, almost everyday basis, where we created platforms for exchanging ideas, brainstorming sessions, and some stand-up meetings where even I personally went to interact with everybody every morning itself to keep up the morale and the confidence of the employees. I'd like to share that our company took the decision of giving no pay cuts for a single day during the entire pandemic. And also, we did not lay off a single employee during this pandemic. On the contrary, we took this actual as an opportunity to hire more manpower, to prepare for the future. We felt that this is the right time to invest because good times are coming. Good times are coming, and there are a lot of opportunities will be there. If we can encash this opportunity of getting more skilled manpower and try to develop their skills and invest on trainings for them, this would be much more beneficial in the long run, right? Yeah. Okay. Am I audible? Am I audible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So anyway, now moving to the other part of the stakeholder universe, right? So which are the suppliers and the clients part of it, right? We took two-pronged strategies. First, on the sourcing part. Now, this is a very interesting part where we rebalance the entire supply chain. We work towards building inventory, securing critical materials of long lead items, and identifying alternative suppliers. This was important because to keep up the flow of the construction activities, it is important that we have to shuffle our supply chain scenario, right? We also focused very heavily on the logistic partners and ensured timely delivery of the required materials at site. So the fleet management was also very important to keep up the pace of the work even during the travel times, right? On the client side, if we say on the most important part of it is the client who is doing all the spend to develop the infrastructure. The key word was to instill the confidence and keep on a continuous channel of communication, informing them of each of the deviations on the critical path and the project delivery timelines and the revised workarounds to meet the targets. There will be delays. Obviously, there has been delays. We cannot, because of the lockdowns and stuff, there will be delays. But it is important that we keep that communication channel always on. We formed a team of the most experienced people in the company and segregated this entire customer base between them and made single point of contact for each of the customers so that there is a continuous flow of this communication and say that, boss, we are we have taken a little bit more time, but this will be made up in this way, right? This helped in maintaining the customers' confidence on the capability of the company. So that's something which wanted to highlight about how we fared as a company through this crisis, right? So I'm just sharing the examples. Like now, recently when I was trying to think about the strategies, what should be going forward, what are the type of vision we should keep on, right? So I came across a very interesting article in the McKinsey portal where they highlighted 5 key aspects to handle the new normal. So in our life we have a new normal. In our business also, in the construction industry also, we have to adopt this new normal, right? So we made it on a 5 scale, right? On a 5 dimensions basis. It's number 1 is resolve, number 2 is resilience, number 3 is return, number 4 is reimagination, and number 5 is reform. Now, how it basically, we need to be very much resolved to address the immediate challenges that COVID-19 represents and act accordingly. We need to be determined and keep doing whatever we are doing. We need we cannot lose out in the middle. So we cannot interrupt or we cannot stop in the middle. We need to have a clear-cut strategies for returning to the momentum, what we have been doing pre-COVID best, and we have to have a clear-cut strategies around that. Now, the reimagination part is a very important aspect. Now, the world has been changing. The world has been changing to a different aspect. There's a paradigm shift how the business will be done post-COVID, right? So, taking all those into cognizance and trying to find out the implications, how all these companies and institutions should reinvent their strategies. So we'll come into the next slide where we will try to see that how we can go through, right? And reform. So reform through maintaining all the standards, all the safety things. We need to be much more human, much more focused on creating awareness and follow the statutory regulations. Yeah. Now going back to these 5 horizons, if we carefully study these 5 horizons, we can arrive at some strategies which the companies might adopt. So this is my version of it, how I have thought about. There can be, obviously there are several panelists today also respected. They can also give their comments, right? So in the part of the digitization, the first one is digitization and upskilling, right? So more and more companies needs to find and converse themselves with the implementation of automation for the process and tools for remote monitoring and managing. We have seen the evolution of the BIM tools, right, in the construction industry, and this is the time when this kind of tools shall further evolve drastically to suit the organizational requirement, and an organization needs to adopt this kind of tools, right, to automate the process and digitize and invest heavily on upskilling and development. The second part is the controls and optimizations, which is key in managing an effective and streamlined operation structure. In these times, the silo-based departmental working is gone, boss. One have to wear many hats, and cross-skilling and multidimensional workforce needs to be cultivated in the organization. Third is building the SCM resilience, which we already talked about, to complete. The entire world have to really find on a vertical integration to find out more solutions from the supply chain perspective. They have to look much more in depth to how to automate the process of the supply chain and get into an aggregator model than just a single material based model. So that is very important key aspect for a construction company to be successful in the coming days and not depend on a single supplier based kind of a structure, right? Then we have the redeployment of the resources. Now it's a subject which directly relates to the changing work situation. We need to think about creating a safe and conducive work environment for the employees and should be flexible to change the deployments to suit the new normal, to bring more productivity and efficiency on the table, right? And obviously, last but not the least, customer engagement. The relationship of a customer vendor needs to change now. It needs to change from a customer vendor relationship to a partner to partner kind of an equation to create a win-win situation for all the concerned parties. This will result in much more faster and quality execution of the project, right? I know I stressed a bit longer than usual, but I felt it is imperative to highlight these issues as this is the most critical phase of this industry, and we as stakeholders of this industry must look very closely towards bringing back the momentum and steer the industry towards a safe and sustainable prosperity, right? I echo the voice of our Prime Minister when he says that we need to convert the adversity into opportunity and remain determined in our resolve towards hope. I thank the Urban Transport News team for creating such a wonderful platform to exchange our ideas with the stakeholders. Thank you so much.
We are grateful for the time and efforts you took to share your thoughts. A big thank you for taking your precious time out to attend our webinar on Railway and Metro Infrastructure 2021.